Hey guys! Hello everyone, and welcome! I'm Rosita. I am a vocal and language coach. Not only do I teach people how to speak in different languages, I also teach people how to sing in them as well. I'm very passionate about helping people improve their language skills and express themselves with confidence. Now, as a multilingual speaker and an experienced language instructor, I understand the challenges that come with learning a new language and its vocal expression. So that's why I am dedicated to helping you guys bridge that language gap, that language barrier, so you can unlock the power of your voice in different languages. Why be national if you guys can be global? So whether you guys are looking to improve your public speaking, communicate more effectively in different languages, to help you broaden and help to better to improve your relationships with your audience or expand your audience with your clients, patients, students, or just simply expand your language skills, then you guys came to the right channel. Now, usually this class is VIP only, but I thought it would be fun just to give you guys a little sneak peek of this. This is called Controlling Your Voice, and where we focus on one aspect of your voice for the month. Now, in February, we are going to be talking about your tone, how to improve your tone. And we're going to go the differences between tone, voice, and pitch. Now, this is going to be very important whether you're a singer or a speaker. So let me just grab my notes here and let's get started. Okay. So, what is tone? Now, tone is essentially the color of your voice. That's what it is. Some people will also describe it as the timbre of your singing voice. So then that leads to the question of, what is voice in singing? Have you guys ever thought about that? Now, the voice is not the voice type. Okay, let's just establish that right now. Voice is not the voice type. The voice is the sound that your air creates when you exhale. So essentially, when you use your diaphragm, when you take that deep breath, the breath is coming, it's coming straight through your trachea, through your windpipe. And when it goes through your vocal folds, a sound is going to come out, almost like a buzzing sound. And then it goes through your pharynx, and then your tone. So what we hear out of our mouths is actually the tone of your voice. So in this video, we're going to talk about the space and the breath to create tone, and also how to maintain it. Now, to create an engaging tone, we're going to need to make space for the tone to resonate. And then we're going to need to apply the breathing skills that we have learned in January, so we can combine them to create an amazing tone. You see, space and breath are the identifying factors to help you improve your tone production, whether you're a speaker or a singer. And especially if you guys are looking to become a voice actor, this also is going to apply to you too. Because if you invite space to the party and you don't invite breath, well, it's not going to be a very good party. Okay. And we're going to need both of these, this tone and breath, to also help you to sustain the tone and also to help you control the vibrato. Now, whenever we sing, we want to create different sounding tones on purpose. Now, for my beginning singers, how many of you guys are beginners? Please let me know in the chat or in the comments below. I recommend that you work for tones that are clear. Okay? I want you guys to focus on clear and ringing tones. ¿Estamos? Yeah? Okay. And we want to have the ability, we want to have the goal to have the ability to figure out how to alter that, and then to do breathy tones on purpose. Yes, breathy tones are not necessarily a bad thing when you're doing it on purpose. When you're not doing it on purpose, then it's not so great either. But with all honesty, guys, creating a clear tone is going to take practice. And it's going to require a professional to teach you the proper vocal technique. There's a great channel, outside my own, of course, Voices to the World by, I believe his name is Justin Stoney. I love his channel. So definitely check him out. Personally, I love how he approaches it. It's very similar to my approach where we apply both anatomy and physiology to our teaching. We apply science to our teachings. So definitely, I will leave a link somewhere to his channel. And finally, we're going to need to know how to control your muscles and the movement of air, so we have the ability to change the tone. So let's quickly go over some of the one is definitely unwanted, but some of the tones that we tend to start with as beginning singers. First, we have the breathy tone. Now, a breathy tone is going to sound a bit fuzzy and unfocused. Now, to get an idea what a breathy tone sounds like, we want to pretend like we're whispering un secreto, that we're whispering a secret. Oh my God. Now, the fuzzy tone that you use when whispering isn't clear. It's muffled, nor is it ringing. So when we sing with a breathy tone, we're essentially losing a lot of air. And it takes much more air to sing a breathy tone than it does to sing a clear one. So that's one of the reasons that when you're singing and you have that breathy tone, we're letting out a lot of air from the get-go, and it's taking so much of that's what results. Well, one of the reasons that it results into a breathy tone. Now, like I said in the beginning, is that a breathy tone is not necessarily a bad thing when you're doing it on purpose. It can be a wonderful texture to the song when doing it properly and having that control to add the breathy tone. Then we have a tight tone. Please let me know in the chat if you guys have ever encountered a tight tone. You feel like a squeeze when you guys sing. And it's okay. Be honest here. Because it is extremely common. Especially as beginning singers. That's why you guys are taking these classes or watching these videos to improve your singing and your speaking voice. Because once again, the information I'm giving you is not limited to singing. This applies to speaking as well. So when your muscles are tight, so tight, they're squeezing the sound out. They are forcing the sound out. So as a result to that, we get a tight tone. Oh, well, hopefully I'll be giving you some tips that will help you with that, Mary. Mary? Maria? ¡Ah! ¡Hola! ¡Hace mucho tiempo! If I'm thinking of the right Mary. Pero hola. Pero eso es muy común. Now, if you ever run out of breath, but you keep on singing, and you're pushing your voice, you're actually, to be more accurate, you're pressing or you're squeezing, again, you're squeezing that sound out. And that also results to a tight tone. This is why we Marichu! I've missed you. I've missed you, Marichu. Gee. This is why, as vocal trainers, we nag you guys about your breathing technique. We're not nagging you because we enjoy nagging you. Okay, maybe un poquito, maybe just a little bit, but but it's not to purposely annoy you. It's because the fundamental of singing is breath technique, is the breathing technique. The three fundamentals when it comes to singing is your posture, so no slouching, your breathing, and your vocal energy. So if we don't have the proper breathing technique, or we're letting out too much air to help you sustain the tone coming out of your voice, we're going to end up pressing or squeezing your voice out. And that's what causes the tightness. Now, imagine. Well, some of you guys don't have to imagine. Let me know that you guys encountered this. Singing a full song with that tight tone. And if you guys ever experienced that, we know how vocally tiring that is. It's so, with vocal fatigue, and I believe I talked about this yesterday when we were talking about vocal cracks. Whenever you experience vocal fatigue, your muscles are swollen. And if we continue to depress that, then that's also going to lead to voice cracks and other things that we don't want to deal with when it comes to our voice. It can cause damage. So instead of trying to press or squeeze the tone out, we want to move the air outward. So exhalation, breathing out. We want to breathe out to create a free, large, colorful, open tone. Because how we describe tone, I smell popcorn. Sorry, distracted by the smell of popcorn, sorry. The way that we describe tone is how we describe art. Like, if it's dark, if it's strident, this is how we describe tone. So as we inhale, because inhale is just as important as exhale, right? Yeah. That's one of the results, because the muscles are swollen at that point. We want our muscles to be engaged, and we're going to do some exercises. So don't worry. When you breathe in, it has to be a constant flow of air, and we're using our midsection, not our chest, not lifting up our shoulders. I know I sound like a broken record when I say that, but I will continue to be that broken record until we stop it. And then as we exhale, it's one continuous movement. Everything feels open. That is our objective. That is our goal. Now, using too much physical pressure in the throat, which again is going to feel like squeezing, creates a tight, constricted sound. And it's not connecting enough air, which then creates a fuzzy or airy or breathy tone. So we need to find a happy medium here. A tone that's connected to air, so breath support, and sounds clear. Breath support. Now, what do I mean by breath support? Breath support happens when you exhale. So whenever we inhale, this is when we're engaging our diaphragm, right? You feel the muscles engaged. So you're not just pushing out your tummy here. And as you exhale, the muscles are still engaged. You feel almost like a slight restriction as you exhale. This is the foundation of your vocal house. This is what makes your voice and your tone stable. By coordinating the flow of air from both your inhalation and your exhalation, those breathing skills that we have developed in January. And then, speaking of coordination, we also need to be aware of keeping the space open in the back of your throat. So we can be able to control the quality of your tone. Now, some of you guys who are taking singing lessons, you may hear this thing called onset tone. Now, onset tones are going to refer to the starting tone for singing. Now, not so much hypothetically, but we can start a tone in two ways. You can start a tone by blasting it out with physical force. Or, which is the most preferred way, using your air. if we have to use, which should be never, if we end up using physical exertion to sing,
I found this on.
but the exertion comes from energy moving to coordinate the muscles for breathing, that physical force is not going to give you the tone that you guys want to achieve. In fact, if we are forcing our voice, we have little air flowing. And I'm going to stop doing that. But if we use our breath and have that kind of exertion to carry your voice, it's going to sound amazing. With a consistent breath flow and an open throat, we're going to automatically create a better quality tone. Now, starting the tone with air applies to the same idea as producing a lip trill or tongue trill. So let's go ahead and do an exercise here. So, we're going to do a 5th interval. Now, place your hand on your stomach when we do this. Now, to perform a lip trill, you need that constant flow of air. Want to make sure the lips are loose. Give it a shot. Now, let's go a bit higher. Now, let's try with a tongue trill. Same mentality, same concept, except the tongue is vibrating against su paladar, against your hard palate. Good. Now that we worked on some of the breath of keeping it consistent, having that consistent breath flow to produce the lip trill and the tongue trill, well, guess what? This is a nice visual and a physicality of what your vocal cords actually do. Your vocal cords do the same exact thing when you start to tone by coordinating a consistent flow of air. It vibrates against each other. Now, the easiest way to start a tone is by humming. Now, humming involves singing or making a tone with your lips closed. Now, we want that space between your teeth as you hum. So think of humming as a prolonged sound or prolonged M sound. Try it. So let's say that you agree with me. So think of but with your mouth closed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Make sure you have that distance between your teeth. Mm-hmm. And now, we're going to do a very classic exercise here. We're going to go, give it a shot. Now we're going to go higher here. Make sure that you have distance between your teeth. Let's hear you guys. Now the clear tone, to give you guys a physicality, things to physically look out for. The clear tone is going to create a stronger vibration. Now, you may feel the vibration in your chest or in your head, depending on the register that you're using. Also, the vibrations, you're also going to feel it in front of your mouth, resonance. And your nasal passages, also resonance. Now, you may feel vibrations in all three locations, but 2 out of 3 is good too. Now, okay. A lot of the times, you guys are going to hear singing teachers say you have to start a tone. To start a tone, you need to rely on sound. No, you don't. No. When you start a tone, don't rely on the sound. Why? Because the sound may be different in each room. So, to start a tone, we want to rely on the feeling, which is going to be more consistent from room to room. Again, if there was a takeaway here, do not rely on sound when you start a tone. Rely on the feeling and how you produce the sound. This is going to be more consistent. So feeling those vibrations in either your chest or your head or whatever, or the register that you're using. If you guys are beginner, it'll be either your chest or your head. And then feeling the vibration in your mouth area, would be your upper jaw and or your upper lip. And around your nasal cavities. Now, the last thing I want to touch on about tone is creating back space. Now, this is a term that you guys are going to hear a lot if you're taking singing lessons. But what does it mean? Well, backspace refers to the space in the back of your mouth and in your throat. So when people say, okay, we got to open the back of your throat or the back of your mouth, it's the same space. So just by opening your teeth or by just like adding space between your teeth or dropping that jaw is going to help you create that backspace. So that means go ahead, show off your pearly whites. So this is why I also tell my students to drop their jaw, for the purpose that they open the backspace. Now, to create the open space necessary for great tone, now this analogy is going to vary. You can pretend that you have an egg in the back of your mouth, or you could use a golf ball or a truffle. I like the truffle one better, but hey. And we want to compare the feeling of the back space when it's closed. When you have the egg sitting on the back of your tongue, practice opening that space quickly. And allow your tongue to release down, but not pressed down. Remember, we don't want force. So let's do that hum again. Pretend that you have that egg in the back of your mouth. Please listen and then repeat. Let's hear you guys. Let's hear you. Going higher. So what is an instant way that you guys can try this? Well, actually, I had this class at 5 o'clock Pacific time called Song Breakdown, in where you guys bring in your own songs and we just break it apart. We focus on one part each week. And I give you the proper vocal technique tips to improve that particular section that we are working on. And I want you guys to do that if you guys don't decide to come to that class, which if you guys do, which I highly recommend, every Friday at 5 p.m., go ahead, check out my website, and you can join in for $5. It's $5 per class. We have it 4 times a month, so you can also, do our VIP, our monthly VIP class, where you guys have access to all the group classes, including this class, because this class today is one of the freebies just for today. So try singing a part of the song that you're working on, and have that analogy of having that egg in the back of your throat to maintain that openness. Now, my method of teaching, once again, is, applying science to singing, which, yes, there is a science to singing. And I like to apply anatomy and physiology, because it is important to know that whole lie about you must have talent to sing. Guys, I'm here to tell you that's just bull. With proper training, everyone is capable of improving their voice. Now, will you become the next Whitney Houston? Probably not. But you're still able to improve your voice, regardless of what anyone says. Because chances are, the people who tell that to you are not vocal trainers or experienced and educated vocal trainers or vocal coaches. They're just saying that based on the knowledge that they have. I know I'm going off topic, but it is very important for me to let you guys know that everyone can improve their voice, whether it be singing or speaking. Okay, going back to tone. So, before I got into that, I was talking about my method of teaching. It's important for me that my students understand the physicality of singing, so they know what they are doing and how they are producing both the correct sounds and the incorrect sounds or interesting sounds. Because sometimes we want those interesting sounds for voice acting. But I want you to compare the tone change by first singing with the throat and the back of the mouth closed. And then just a little bit, like one line, because I don't want you to try to sing the song with that technique, the bad technique. And then I want you guys to picture that same line. I want you guys to picture that egg that's opening that back space and applying that proper breath technique. And I want you guys to be able to feel that difference. So let's give that a shot. So we're gonna do that same humming exercise. And I want you to just use your throat to sing. Close the back of the mouth and listen. understand that? No, I don't like the sensation at all. Now I want you guys to picture that you have that egg or the golf ball or the chocolate truffle, however you want to visualize it. So close your mouth. Pretend that you have that ball. Give it a shot. How many of you guys felt that difference? So another takeaway that I want you guys to realize when it comes to improving your tone is that, one, opening your backspace and a constant flow of breath are the factors that is going to impact your tone. They are a team. So if you're here to improve that tone, we need to improve both our breathing technique and keeping that backspace open. Now, the first few times that you may open the space in the back of your mouth, the resonance might sound hooty or like an owl. Woo, 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 woo. Allow the tone to be hooty. Is hooty even a word or an adjective rather? It is now. And allow it to be hooty while you learn how to coordinate that space. And then eventually you guys will be able to open the space and send your sound forward, your singing voice forward.
I couldn't find that in your Apple Music library. You can ask me to play a radio station or ask for your music on a different app.
Thank you, Siri, but that was totally irrelevant. I love and hate Siri sometimes. Okay. All right. So throughout this video, or throughout this stream, I've talked about coordination. Just show. We want to coordinate our breath and also maintaining our backspace open to produce this tone. Now, I want you guys to try 3 ways of coordinating breath and tone here. The first one, we can whistle. That was a pathetic attempt. I'm very bad at whistling. There we go. But my favorite one is laughing. Now, this is what I like to call the villain laugh. Place your hand on your belly for me. And I want you to give me a very boisterous, there's my bostoni there, a boisterous laugh. Like, ha 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 ha. And then bring that laughter higher and higher. Ha 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 ha. You're like laughing like Maleficent. And notice the movement in your body. More than likely, your abs are moving. Your lower abs are moving. Right? And your sides are moving out as you exhale to make the sound. Ha 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 ha. That's what we should feel. And then the third one is the we exercise. So pretend that you guys are on a slide, right? And you're lifting up your hands. You're like, wee! Make sure you drop that jaw so we keep that backspace open. Wee! Let's hear you guys. Pretend that you're a 5-year-old on a slide. Wee! tongue is relaxed. You drop that jaw. Now make sure that we don't spread. We're not going, whee! Because if you do that, then goodbye, backspace. You want to keep that whee sound. All right. Okay. Now, for the next class, for next Friday, and this will be back to our VIP class, we're going to be talking about releasing the tone. Okay? We're going to be talking about how you sing a tone and then release it. Because as we just learned, singing requires that breath to move out of your body as you exhale. And releasing the tone simply requires that you also have a good inhale. So we're going to be talking about that. And we're talking about to not use your throat to sing. Or rather, to be more accurate, not to produce voice using your throat. When someone tells you to use your throat to sing, do what I do and mentally throw a chancla at their head. Yes, the throat is part of the vocal process, but it's not used to produce the voice. Because if you do, remember that tension and the tightness that we were talking about earlier? Yeah. You use your throat to pressure out the voice, to force that voice out, to squeeze the sound out. Yeah. So if you guys are interested, once again, to join these VIP classes, so like this one is usually not free, but I did wanted to give you like a little sneak peek of it. Go ahead, register for my class. It's $5. It's $5 per class. Or for $15, you have unlimited classes. You have access to all my VIP classes on Zoom. So definitely check that out. And if you guys have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Leave them right now in the live chat or in the comments below whenever you get the opportunity to watch this video. Hello, Tempers PK. Welcome. So I would love to know, what are your singing goals? I'm very genuinely curious about this. And two, how many of you guys want to be or want to improve your tone and have more control of your tone? I genuinely want to know. As Garug, I'm actually unfamiliar with Garug. To be honest, I'm looking him up. I'm looking him up. Garage singing. I am not singing Garug. But I'm sure. Everyone has the ability to improve their singing voice. Everyone. So even though I can't find Garug, but I'm sure you'll be able to achieve that. Hands down. And Garug singer. I keep getting garage singing. All right. I'll be on the search for that. All right, guys. Until next time, I shall see you guys soon.